All right, hey guys, welcome. I believe this is the first video of the month of November for me, if I'm not mistaken. So happy November. Oh yeah, did you guys fall back? um, I forgot that happened last night. So apparently I got an extra hour of sleep. Which makes it really easy for me to do this video here today. Normally you would see a pocket change market report video on yesterday. Did not happen. Generally, that's kind of a tough thing to do when we have a big show come into town. We had the Sacramento show by Macintosh Coins that did occur, so that kind of superseded anything else I had going on video content wise. But Sunday morning, heck, this is a great time to bring this up because first of all, it's Sunday. Can't really do anything about it today, but it gives everyone this, I guess you could say, competitive advantage to get started tomorrow. We are down to the last, I would say, moments of opportunity to take advantage of this. We're going to talk about two different things. 2024 coinage this year for circulation has been quite interesting, very interesting to say the least. Um, where else can you find, or where else can you go to find a 2004 Jefferson nickel that you could sell for $5 to $10? Full bank rolls still selling well above 80 to $100. It's nuts. It's nuts right now, and I guess I'm gonna play this angle for you guys because we're knocking on the doorsteps of the heat of the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we all need money, right? Heck, I need money for this time of year. It's always it's always a foregone conclusion that money it really drives the holiday season. You know, as we look to kind of play up to the occasion. Um, and I present to you, and normally, I do a lot of videos and I kind of edit on not financial advice. This one is kind of like financially advisable type of moves that you should probably pay attention to. However, you got to put a little bit of the work in. All right, that's the fine print. You got to put the work in. You got to go to these banks. You got to knock on the doors of these banks. You got to go and hit up all the tellers and branch managers and try and find these. It's going to be an easy experience as long as you build up to that rapport. You build up the correct rapport with these folks, and keep in mind they're hardworking people that make an hourly wage, and whatever you have to do to grease the skids to get some of these coins, please do so. There's plenty to go around, and the 2024 Philadelphia Struck Dr. Mary Edwards Walker quarter should be high atop of the list of the things you need to find. Now, but before we get like overly excited about this, or again, we're talking about two different coins here. This one is a little bit more targeted to a specific area of the country. Unfortunately, we can't all find this one because it's Philadelphia minted. That automatically shuts out half the country. All right, and just because these are found on the eastern edge of the United States does not necessarily mean that we all can find it on the East Coast. These particular coins were first discovered in the state of Pennsylvania, and there have been a few found in New York as well. So, kind of like that northeast region of the U.S. is where you're going to have your best opportunity to find these. And that is the recently discovered doubled die reverse Dr. Mary Edwards Walker quarter. This thing is absolutely amazing, and I am a firm believer that it is going to be such a huge coin in the future. And this is something that we've talked about with panel members from the live coin Q&A who were the innovators and found this one through one of its guests on the show. And it eventually was attributed by Dr. James Wiles. All right, and then now it's a legit double to die reverse, and it's amazing. So here's what this one looks like. So you're gonna look for this quarter right here. Okay, 2024 P Mint. It's gonna have the P Mint mark under the date, and it's gonna have this reverse with Dr. Mary Edwards Walker. Now, as of the taping of this video, we are in the first few days in the month of November. The newest and final quarter of the year, the Sikala Ka. I think I got that right. I believe it's a Native American woman on the reverse of it, if I'm not mistaken. That one is currently live. That one is out in circulation. However, we have to based off of how these things circulate, we have to pounce on the Mary Edwards Walker quarter right now, because there are going to be more of these out there than there's going to be of that last final quarter. While there are certain areas where a few of these new quarters have been found, this one right here is more prominent in circulation. Now, this one right here, the VDDR number 1, is its official attribution number through Variety Vista. Features some pretty crazy, insane doubling. Like if you looked at this image here of that star, kind of like that badge right there, you can see the doubling on, you referencing the black arrows that show up here. So this really stands out. It pops out. And then you're also going to look at the back of her hair as well. You're going to see the doubling pop off there. And just, again, refer to those little white arrows to know what you're looking for. This person actually did a really good job highlighting all the important parts of this coin. And another thing, call it like maybe a marker of sorts for this coin, is that there's going to be a few die chips. The C in cents is going to somehow connect to the E of that word with a couple of die chips. And most examples have been found with that on there. So this is the quarter in question that we're looking for. This is kind of like the comparison to a quarter that we had the pleasure of witnessing back in 2009, and that's that all-important FS 801 Washington, D.C. double to die reverse. Some are saying that this one is as impressive as that quarter and could possibly be one of the big chasers in the years to come. It's just not going to come very easily because 2024 production of coins across the board has been a lot less. So this is kind of like one of the more key, I suppose, years of that. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how many of these have sold? How much are they going for today? I've done little pieces on this particular coin in Pocket Change Mark Report videos, where one at its highest reportedly sold for $129. Okay, so that one is certainly on the list right here. There have been only 5 total that have sold in the last 4 weeks of this quarter, which represents a very small number. I have a feeling that there's not a whole lot of these that were made. And number 2, while we had that big one that sold for $130, some of the subsequent ones that have sold after that have dropped in value. And that's probably just more people knowing about this coin and have subsequently found a few of them. And then when you're online and you're looking for these on eBay and there's like 5, 6, 7 of them, obviously you're going to have more choices. If you're in the market to buy this quarter, it's going to be a pretty substantial difference in what the finalized expectation of that auction is going to be if there was only 1 coin available or if there was 5. And that is exactly what we've seen here. We've seen, this is the most recent one, November 1st, that was yesterday, sold for $66.88 with 8 bids. This one right here with a single lone bid, attributed, and they even put last sold for $129.50, sold for $49. The one before that sold for $76 on October 28th with a couple of bids. Here is that big one right here, ladies and gents, from October 19th. So between the 19th and the 28th, there is an 11-day period where none of these were on the map. They were not on eBay or anywhere else. And then once that one dropped on the 28th, and then all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of them that have popped up. And because of that, there's more variety for folks to want to own this coin. They would much rather pay a little bit less because they know that there's more out there. And then who knows how many of these exist. It's not like the Extra V 2023 Lincoln cent where the mint produced a buttload of them. I mean, we're talking thousands of them. This one right here is a lot more exclusive. It's a lot more special. And based off of, what's currently out there, and I'll show you that here momentarily, there's only been 5 that have sold, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 4 weeks. Here's what's available. And I could kind of pick out the ones that are legit. This one, not legit. They're playing on that stupid COD error or whatever it is. Another one here that is not legit. This one right here, no, that one's got roll land damage. Here's one right here. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 more examples. And based off of what we've seen, there is actually one that just ended. Let's see where this one ended at. $55. Okay, so very obtainable at this price level. But once these couple end here in the next few days, and let's say there's no more that pop up, that's going to raise the price. That's going to raise the demand because there are a lot of quarter collectors, especially on the variety side of things, that are going to want to add this one to their collection. So now that we have one that ended, there's only 3 other listings that are outstanding. One ends in about 4 hours, another one in 5 days, and another one in a day and a half. And that is it. Okay, until someone else puts another one on there, there are only 3 other examples that are currently available in this marketplace through regular auctions. And then once those are done, unless someone puts another one up for sale, that's going to further make the case of how exclusive this coin is. So if I were you guys, this is going to be a great coin to find that you can either, I would say if it were me, I'd probably just keep it in my collection because this is going to be a coin that people are going to talk about, in the future. It might even get its own Cherry Picker's Guide variety listing or attribution at some point in the future. It could be 5 years down the road, 10 years, it doesn't matter. These things always end up making its way into those type of publications. And once it hits that book, it's all over. These things are going to be wildly expensive. It could be hundreds of dollars for all we know. So this is the first order of business here is this quarter. Now, the second one, I've talked to this one to no end. And it just seems to me that based off of what we've seen, there hasn't been a whole lot of them that were found. Okay, what we do know as of right now from the US Mint website, they have not produced any more 2024 Jefferson Nickels, both in Philadelphia and Denver. As of right now, the Denver coin is still the rarity for this modern age. And that's going back to the last 50 plus years. For a while, it's been the 2009 P&Ds. The 2024 Denver eclipses both of those coins from 2009 by about 3 or 4 million, which is huge. And that's the big reason why that these particular coins, whether they're sold singularly or by the roll, these things are major hitters. And we've seen a fair amount of them sold on the secondary market. And then we'll kind of talk about how much the Denver rolls are compared to the Philadelphia rolls. Believe it or not, there is a little bit of a difference. The Philadelphia mintage is actually high enough to where it's higher than both the P&D 2009s, but the 2024 Denvers is actually lower than both of those 2009 coins. There's a good number of them available. Like someone here has a roll of 2024 Ps for $45 or best offer. All right. So this is kind of like the settling price point of the Philadelphias. Still a nice tough date to find. But these things have settled down. They're not quite trading the same way as the Denvers are as of right now. But if I found full rolls of 2024 Phillies on the East Coast, I would not turn my back to any of these. I would turn around and sell these immediately, make some money for the holidays. I think that's kind of like the big, I guess, point I'm trying to prove is that there is essentially free money to be had from these bankrolls. Like here's a person selling a full bank box of 24p. That's only $100 face value for $2,600. This may or may not sell. 50 rolls. I don't know what the breakdown of that is. What it's going to be. What 50 times 50. If they were $50 a piece, 2,500. So it's just over $50 a roll is the average for that one. But we really have to see how much these things have sold for. So here's kind of no particular order. These are all the recent sales here. Starting with, it's November 3rd. Sorry, I thought it was the 2nd. It's the 3rd. Here's a roll of 24 Phillies for $45, and then they'll charge however much for shipping. Here's 4 rolls of 24 Phillies, $210. Okay, so that puts them at over $50 per roll. Another Philly. Again, you're seeing that the list is dominated by more Philadelphia minted coins than there is Denver. Single coin of Denver, $5. Here is 2 rolls of 24Ds, the first one up from yesterday, for $159, or roughly about $80 per roll is what it comes out to. Here is a single one here for $80 for a Denver, Philadelphia, 55, 51 for 1 roll, 13 bids. So even if you put it up organically bid kind of process on these, the bidders are still making their way there. And this one actually ended up selling for more than what some of the other buy it now listings have gone for. Sure, the buy it nows will go quickly if they're priced cheap enough. If I had them for $45 a roll, they're going to sell through a whole lot quicker than, say, if I put one up at auction, put another one up at auction, maybe 6 hours apart, and then another one, and another one, and another one. It's kind of like a little bit slower to sell doing it that way, but you're going to realize maybe a little bit more money selling it that way than you would in a buy it now setting. Here's a tubed up 2024p. So even if it's outside of the original bankroll paper and you transfer it into a hard tube, a plastic tube, $50. I mean, it's more about the coins and less about anything else. There's no varieties, It's like, yeah, sure, you could grade them if you wanted to. Here's a 2024D roll for almost $100. Here's a 2024P roll for $100. So that's kind of an aberration there, because we've seen a whole bunch of them sell for half of that. That one obviously is a good hit. Here's 5 rolls of 24 Phillies for $340. Yeah, that's pretty good. That puts it up to almost $70 a piece. It's a few bucks. Actually, it ends up being $70 a piece if you add in the shipping, because they're charging $10. So yeah, I mean, the P-Mint rolls $50 to $60. Denver rolls $80 to $100 from what we've seen. I mean, why would you not want to take advantage of this? And the folks that I've talked to that have been actively pursuing these, they're either finding full bank boxes and rolls, or people are just not finding them at all. They're not even finding single coins that they're receiving in change, which is quite interesting. These, I can imagine, are more probably concentrated near where a Fed Reserve Bank is. Like here in my area, I probably would have much better success if I drove to the Bay Area, because they have a Fed Reserve Bank in San Francisco. They don't have one here in Sacramento. So I might have to make the trip out there. But, first of all, I would probably look here locally first and then exhaust all my options. Okay, and this is something that, again, we if we want it bad enough, we have to go out there and look for it. And a little kind of piece of advice I could give you guys: do not be afraid to just go out and ask for 2024 nickel rolls. Just say I'm putting together collections, blah, 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 blah. However you want to spin that story to a bank teller, okay, they are going to go out of their way to, look for it for you. And then your best bet is obviously to look at banks that you currently bank in. It's going to be kind of tough to do when you go to a bank where you have no account in. Do it right, do it correctly, build relationships with your local banking representatives, and you could have the opportunity to get things like this along with everything else. Hey, did you get any Sally? Did you get any old vintage notes? Heck yeah! Look at this $500 bill I got. Would you like to buy it for $500? Things like this happen all the time. And at first, it's like great. This is kind of like that dangling carrot that we all want to help kind of feed our nature of finding something that's cool, that's worth money, that we could turn and burn right away. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, there's no substitute for a good old-fashioned rapport building. And that's ultimately the foundation in which success happens. Is if you build that relationship, you're friendly, you kind of maybe scratch their back, they scratch yours. Hey, Sally, great, you found me all those nickels. Hey, here's a $25 Starbucks gift card. Okay, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world to invest in your partners if they're going to be giving you thousands of dollars. I mean, let's not be overzealous or too selfish about this. Do about it the right way. Have it come back, full circle, and it's going to be beneficial for everyone. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about on this one. The market very much robust on both of these coins that we covered. Hopefully you were able to get all the information you need so that way you could go ahead and really pound the pavement, because between now and the end of the year, they're going to start production on 2025 coinage, starting with the Lincoln Cents and Silver Eagles about halfway through the month of December. So we're going to get into this rhythm like we normally do once the calendar flips to 2025. A lot of these other coins we've been talking about here the first week of November will be thinned out. They'll be all over the place. Full bankrolls will be hard to find. That Dr. Mary Edwards Walker quarter will be more beat up than it ever has. There's no better time than right now to pursue these while the market is hot for them. That's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Gear up for Monday, because we're going to be doing this, guys. I'm going to be going out there just pounding the pavement as well with you. And, I'm not immune to hard work. I'm ready to do this. And then we'll see what happens. So you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See ya.